Yeah, exactly. We have a date now, October 26th. We're preparing for that, and we'll keep going full steam ahead until we hear more at this stage. There's no more that we can do about it really. If you start worrying about will it go ahead, won't it go ahead, you end up being neither here nor there. So we're just going to take it as on now until someone tells us differently, and we're going to keep preparing for that accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really strange and unprecedented times, I suppose, Stephen. And I suppose since Intercounty got back on 14th of September, I think, was good, I suppose, to get the lads back together.
That was great. It was great. I suppose for ourselves, I suppose we did get back the 14th of September, 15th of September we started back, but we still had the Club Football Championship going on, so we never really got all of our players together at any point until we were planning on it. This week was our big week, shall we say. We had 2 games planned. We were to play Wexford Tuesday and playing Kilkenny tomorrow night, and it was going to be our games with our full squad together, to have everyone together for once, and we heard the news then last week that all challenge matches were banned, which was a devastating blow for us now, to be honest with you, Gavin. We really had kind of put everything into these 2 games because we hadn't the players available to us beforehand, so we kind of put a lot on this. It's just unfortunate for us, especially with the other game on Monday, Clare and Tip on this Monday coming in the first round. Like, our opponents are effectively, they probably had all our preparation done as they would have wanted to, and then they'll have the championship match ahead of them, so the winner of that coming in to face us will be in a much better position than us. We're looking at not playing the game for 3 weeks, whereas they would have had a championship game under the belt and their prep done right, so a bit of a disadvantage, but look, we won't let that hold us back.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was a big blow to minor and under 20 to lose those challenge games, because I suppose they say you can't beat that white heat of challenge games, and particularly championship, where you play the winners of Clare and Tip. So is that going to be, do you think, a disadvantage? I suppose you won't know until maybe you go out on that Monday.
Yeah, exactly. We won't know, but look, I suppose if I look back to my one time in 2016 with the minors, we played Tipperary in a I think it was a quarter final, and we had played a game under our belt, and we beat Tip. We beat Tip kind of comfortably enough that day, but it was our second day out, Tip's first day out, and Tip went on to win the Munster Championship by 15 points and won an All-Ireland pulling up, so it kind of really showed that day that we got the advantage from that game. With that, and I remember in the dressing room after the game, actually, I was talking to Liam Cal was the manager at the time. I was talking to Liam, and kind of just saying to him, look, I think what stood today was we had the game under the belt, and he kind of did agree. So I think on that day it was an advantage. Maybe it could stand to him again on this week, but on Monday week. But look, we'll never know. We'll turn up and we see how it is then on Monday when throw in and see how it goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I suppose you had him together earlier on the year before the whole COVID struck, and then I suppose they went back to their clubs and he got him back in. So I suppose once he got that date, and once the lads knew they were going to hopefully get the chance to represent their county, they obviously had that buy-in, and you've had that over the last couple of weeks. We had, and in fairness, we had it all through. Come January, February, we got fantastic support off the county board and off Club Déise to start back this year. We had a real look at what happened last year, and we knew we hadn't the work done in the winter time, and we spoke to the county board, we spoke to Club Déise, and they helped us out, and we were able to get that work done. And it was a pity that we didn't have the championship when we had it. We would have got the benefit from it, and probably in saying that, we won't really see the full benefit of that programme probably until next year. Really, next year's team that will, and the year after, that will see the full benefit from what we did over the winter. But look, it's going to be better for us. We've been in a better place than we were last year, really, with the work. But no, in fairness, we did what we could there over the winter. Great effort. The lads really bought into it, really worked hard, and we then went on the natural break for the club championship then in March, and we never got back together. Everything went the way it did, so we didn't come back then until the 15th of September till we were allowed back. So look, we've been working hard since then. Great bunch of lads we have, in the backroom team and with the players. Everyone puts it in, works hard, and it's a real good group here with us. Yeah, that's all you want, I suppose. And just having a look around too, plenty of representation from clubs from both ends of the county, Stephen. So you've assembled a good strong panel, no doubt. And as you say, Pat and Sean and the lads in the backroom team, yourself as well, working hard behind the scenes. Yeah,
look, there's a lot of work went in even through the lockdown, when we were kind of thinking would it go ahead. to go ahead, but at the same time we still continued as if it was going ahead until we were told not to. So we were still planning and talking to players, and and they were doing, some players were doing a lot of the work on their own. We were giving them work to do, and during the lockdown, just to keep them active and keep their minds active and keep their bodies active. We just, they had a bit of work to be doing. They were tipped away themselves. In fairness to them, they're a good bunch. But it was a long break. It was a long break, and it was good to get the club championship back again. Then, when it did, it kind of came at the right time. But look, that's done now. Club championship is over. We're into kind of the county part of the year, so it's kind of all focus on this now, full steam ahead from everyone.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, well documented, I suppose, last year, Stephen, maybe that you hadn't the work done going into that Tip game, and it was a really disappointing night. Fellas trotting off the field in Thurles that night. I'm sure you won't want that to happen again this year, be it Tip or Clare, no matter who you play on the 26th.
Absolutely, no, never want that to happen again. Look, we knew we hadn't the work done last year, just what we would have liked to done during the winter time, and there was a lot of players unavailable to us last year through leaving cert and different things. But I mean, in that game we played the best team in the country by a long way, as proved throughout the championship last year, and we were competitive for 25 minutes, even to the first half. We were only 4 or 5 points behind at half time. I don't think in the Ireland semi-final or Ireland final the games were over after 10-15 minutes. We hung in there, just did show the work rate and the hunger of the lads and the way they worked, but eventually the physicality got up with the lads, and they just tired. And look, Tip put us to the sword when they did tire, but that's all part of it, and there's a few lads there from last year, so let's hope they have that in the memory and make sure it won't happen again.
Absolutely. A final point in, as I know you're about to start training here in Fairfield tonight, obviously you'll be keeping a close eye on Clare and Tip, who are meeting in Thurles Monday night. I know it's going to be refereed by Waterford's Thomas Welch as well, so we wish him the best of luck there, but no matter who you face, it's going to be a big challenge, but it's good to be, I suppose, back at it, and while there's still a great deal of uncertainty, once players and you have that date in your mind, all you can do is prepare, I suppose. Yeah,
that's it. We can just prepare, and I suppose, look, as I said earlier, they had their work done, and look, from what I'm reading, like the Tipperary lads that are on the minor hurling panel and under 20 hurling panel weren't allowed to play club football, which is, it is what it is up there. I don't think we would be doing that here, but if it is true, and if that the way it was, like, they would have had the players an awful lot earlier than what we had, so they would be, I suppose, a more rounded group. They'd have more work done than us in their challenge games and that kind of stuff, and saying, I'm not too sure if that happened in Clare, but they'd have their work done. They were working to this stage, so look, it'll be a good game. I wouldn't like to be calling who'll win it, that kind of way. I suppose we'll know more once we see the game, but it's Munster Championship hurling. It's a different time of year than what we're used to, so we're not going to be too sure of the outcome. I think that could happen in this, and it's played to the winner on the night, so look, it should be a great game, one we'll be watching very, very closely.
Well, Steve, many thanks for joining us, and we'll catch up with you again before the Bank Holiday Monday.
No bother, thanks Gavin.